Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
Yep, we're about to talk about it. We're about to talk about Mumia Obsidian Ali being banned from YouTube and the reasons why. See, somebody just said in the chat room that was it a ban or did he take it down? No, it was an actual termination, and we're about to get into that. But shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to each and every one of you. Let me go through a few of the early comments before we get into it. I'm gonna give a little backstory before I get all the way into the particulars of the reasons why, because a lot of people don't fully understand the exact reasons why, but when you listen to her talk, she more or less explains what it is, but everybody is talking all over the place. There's a lot of things that I'm about to just give my take on. A lot of things I'm about to give my take on, but shout out to the first person who commented and what did he say? Okay, look at that. He says, you hide your videos, Bernard. You got scared too, LOL. I took my live streams down a while ago, mostly because of a new content strategy where I was using monetized pre-records. And when I was growing my audience up to monetized pre-records, they were being suggested and recommended old live streams that they really didn't want to watch because the pre-record audience is a new audience. That's a different audience. I was getting new viewers who were becoming returning viewers, and it was messing up the growth of my channel when most of my content backlog into 2020 was pretty much all live streams. So it was content strategy. It was content strategy more than anything. And yes, when Cynthia G got taken down over something she said year and a half ago, I was like, yeah, somebody could go to something that was said in 2021 by somebody else on my panel and possibly get me taken down too. So that was a concern. So me taking my stuff down ain't have nothing to do with the recent stuff with Obsidian. So you know, kind of throwing some nonsense out there. But Azrael, first of his name in the building, shout out to you. Keep it 100 in the building. It says, move over, let me get a seat. Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting. Truth Only in the building. He says, is the reason that ET went home. Moving on. Shout out to you. Appreciate you coming through. Shout out to Craig Lamont. He says because of the Pearly infatuation. I have no idea what you're talking about. D-Rock Den in the building says, good morning, BR. Shout out to D-Rock Den. Shout out to Chris G. Shout out to the Standard RLC. Shout out to Mr. Snazzy. Shout out to TNBN. Shout out to who else we got in here? KG in the building says, do we have it confirmed that it was indeed termination and not him hiding his channel? Like he continued to say, no, it was at first it was him hiding his channel. Then eventually it was the termination. Eventually that was the case. Insane One in the building. Shout out to you, Leo Anthony in the building. Shout out to you, the Human Chapter, the Mac the Trucker once again, General Washington. I'm trying to make it down to the bottom of this real fast, but it's moving fast. KG in the building says, from what MOT said last night when Pablo interviewed him, he was basically nailed by for Harriet chick and her minions as copyright strikes. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But okay, I'm gonna get into that. Based off what I assess, it's something far more specific than that. Something far more specific than that. Shout out to Red Corpio. Shout out to Hood Servative says it's getting spooky out here. It's not as spooky as you think. It's really not as spooky as you think. And that's the biggest reason why I'm doing this stream. Because a lot of people are running scared with this thing, and it's like, no. There's no reason to be running scared because it was something specific that she was able to get him on. Something specific that nobody else does. So it's being sort of talked about and trumped up like it was just all of the in general trolling and in general, harassment, as she calls it. And some of that, yeah, it did fall under harassment. Some of it was just doing YouTube reaction videos and responding to what somebody else, said. Like literally right now on this video, I'm going to pull up something from her, something that she said, then push pause and then respond to it. That's in bounds. That's protected under fair use. You can't necessarily get a copyright claim for fair use. The person who made the original content can dispute it and y'all can have YouTube sort it out. But no, those typically aren't grounds to get a channel terminated. So it was more to it than that. But getting into it, little backstory. Some of you know this. I'll probably say some things that most of you don't know because a lot of you know the early history of my channel. Like I said before, I can't tell the history of my channel without acknowledging Obsidian. I can't. When I decided, I started out, hopping on his panel. Somebody said Obsidian Coon. All right. I started out with this thing, just hopping on his panel. People used to say, excuse me. People used to always say, man, you should start a channel because they like my take, they like the things that I was saying up there. And so, eventually I did. I kind of already had a channel. I was just dropping a video here, a video there. But then I eventually started going live like everybody suggested. It was slow. I did it for like a month just to get my feet wet with it, but then eventually I reached out to Obsidian. He was doing content on Mixler. He wasn't on YouTube. I kind of brought him back to YouTube, de facto brought him back to YouTube because he was, not there. But my channel became his, de facto headquarters over here for like, in 2020. And, we was doing gangbusters and no other way around that. And that got me in the algorithm and that got me going. So like I said, I always have to give him his respect and thank him for that. No problem there. Things start going south sometime around 2022 when Obsidian is known for switching up his content strategy. Normally when somebody switch up their content, like me switching up my content strategy means I'm going to focus on pre-records versus live streams. But the message is the same. Obsidian will flip-flop and topsy-turvy the whole message. And he was like, I mean, if you was around back then, you remember those times. You would see me and him arguing on the air about it. We would have conversations off the air about it. It's no other way around it. I'm not even trying to, make this about, trying to dog him for things that he said before, but he had went to flip-flopping on the space to the point to where I was like, bro, we going in two different directions. Wherever you trying to go, I'm not trying to go with you. We parted ways, like his channel was taking a hit from it. My channel, my association to him, at least I believe my channel take a hit. It's my fault. 100% my fault. So I don't even want to go there and say that, but either way it go, there was a decline in numbers. That just all to it. And then I knew that he would recover, which he did. Which he bounced back. He went back to talking about, what he used to talk about, and he grew his audience back, and he was killing it. But by then, like, we haven't spoke since July of 2022. Because that was just a point where I was just like, he kept doing things that I deemed to be just unacceptable to the point to where I was just like, whatever crazy thing he do next, I don't want to be standing next to him when he do it. I don't want to be standing next to him when he say it. We go in different directions. We parted ways peacefully and amicably. No beef. He didn't make not one stream saying nothing bad about me. I never made a stream saying anything bad about him. I think 95% of what he said about me has been favorable. If he spoke, the little few times he's spoken about me since we parted ways. And I say 90, 85% of what I've said about him since we parted ways have been favorable. No beef. The way people should part ways. There's no need to do a bunch of back and forth streams arguing, talking junk to each other. It was done. It was done like it was handled like men in a conversation, and then done. I sent him an email, something, thanked him for, the how integral he was to the early growth of my channel. But it's clearly we're going in different directions. I think it's best we part ways. That was the last time we talked. Done. That was that. It was that simple. Now, fast forward to what's going on now. Fast forward to what's going on now. Shout out to Dane C in the building. Says it's sip and spin ish. That song, oh man. I'm about to get into that. I'm about to get $2. I'm not gonna lose. But thank you for putting $2 on it. Thank you for Too Cool for School. Excuse me. Had too much coffee. It's rumbling on the inside of me. So forgive me if I have to, look away a few times. Says, I know we need GC on this panel. It will be a panel. Thank you for putting 5 on it. It will be a panel. But a lot of people are running for the hills, are thinking. I'm hearing people say things like, "See, I told y'all, don't be making content talking about them black women's. Them black women's they gonna get you." It's like they're the big bad boogeyman. It's like, no, it's not. It's not like that. It's not like that. It was something more so very specific that all of this happened, because it was something very specific, and she pretty much breaks it down and tells you. So let me pull something up. Wait, I think I already got that up. All right. Let me pull something up here. Hopefully I got it at roughly the right part. Let's see.
Seats. There's no evidence. Where's the video? Where's the screenshots?
This ain't the part. This is right before the part. Yes, hood conservative. Never personalize the target. That is true. That was a big part of this, but it wasn't even the biggest part of this. Like, it was a big part of it, but not the biggest part. But that got more to that. Personalizing the target is a big thing. That cannot be understated. You can challenge ideas, you could challenge ideology, and like I said, if you're doing a reaction video, you could take a few cheap shots, personal jabs, jokes. You could do that. But most of it, if it's against the argument, and it's a lot of people that make those arguments, you could challenge those arguments all day. You can have an ideological war all day. Like the whole thing, the gender war, it really was a matter of, it was basically just an ideological war, an information war. That's typically, generally what it is. It's not a war over who looks better in a suit, me or her boyfriend. It's like, so yes, stuff like that makes it weird. But that weird stuff is not the reason he got taken down. And then see RMG. Okay, yeah, we attack ideas, not people. 85-90% of the time. Because I do take some shots at people now. I gotta roast some people up here and there. But all right, let's go. And by the way, what I'm doing here is protected under fair use. It's like, so it's not a copyright issue. She could literally take what I'm doing right now to YouTube right now. And even if they make a claim and I challenge the claim and they really look at it, they would have to conclude that, okay, he's doing a live stream. Let's say this live stream is 2 hours. Let's just say I play, 8 minutes of her content. They're going to say that's fair use. But we're going to get into the specifics of what was truly wrong with what he was doing and why it's a problem.
I knew that the only way that I was going to have a chance for people to take me seriously here was to make sure I had as much as possible.
All right. So you've been collecting the paper trail for a while. That was important. Technically wasn't the biggest thing, but let's go.
Last week, I had the privilege of talking to somebody who works in trust and safety at another social media platform. And I will say that despite the anguish that this has brought me over the past year, I do appreciate the people who have reached out to me to help and the connections that I've made and the things that I've learned in this process. And I had a conversation with him, and he told me some things that could help me, and I'm going to share them because maybe they can help you if you're also experiencing harassment. His number one thing was have a paper trail, have ample receipts. And he said to me, the quickest way to do this, to get this person removed from the platform so that he can't do any more harm, is to make the decision to remove him easy. He said to me that the surest way to have this man removed was not by pointing to all of the times that he published videos with my face next to softcore porn, or all of the times that he had explicitly harassed, mocked, defamed my partner. It was to go for something that is black and white. He said, objectivity is your friend.
Got it. All right. Objectivity is your friend. And you know what? When I listened, I listened to this in like 1.5 speed, and I didn't realize he was talking this slow. So, I mean, when I do a live stream, I typically like to play people talking in the pace that they talk, so the tone and all of that would can be caught. But so I'm not going to speed her up. But somebody said something. We're not going to talk about the playing the victim part of it, because there was a part that we're going to get into that was legitimately wrong on Obsidian end, but she's still playing, I think, the broader, wider a victim on this in a rallying the troops against these harmful people who do these harmful things, and it creates an atmosphere that one has a lot of people thinking that just a general reaction video where you have ideas that don't line up with the ideas or ideals of black feminism can get you taken down off YouTube. That's not what it is, and that's not what got Obsidian taken down. Somebody else said something. I can't find what it is. Damn it, I can't find it. Harassment equals proving women wrong. It wasn't that, though. It wasn't that. Hold on. I saw a comment that I want to respond to. I cannot find it. But they said that the harassment, somebody said something about the harassment thing was all you needed. It's like, no, because as she's more or less explaining here, the harassment aspect of it is subjective. I'm actually just going to play it and let her make that point a little more clear. There's a subjective aspect of the whole. Okay, yeah, there it is. Harassment is all the reason she needs. No, because that can be subjective. Some of that could come off as, satire. Some of that can come off as just being a prick. If they terminated channels for being a prick, then a lot of people wouldn't have channels. So it's not just that. It's not just the doxing. It's not just the doxing, because after all, she doxed. I learned Obsidian's real name because of her, and I've known Obsidian for some years. Never knew his real name. I've learned his real name because of her. She's doxed. It's all of that. It can fall under subjectivity. I'll let her explain it, because she's going to explain what he really got terminated for, but I'll let her explain this whole aspect of it. Shout out to GC. He says, game changer, you're having too much damn fun with this, okay? You're having too much damn fun. What happened to observe and report and do not engage? Thank you for putting 5 on it. You having too much damn fun with this. I know we know you didn't like Obsidian. We know that. I caution. I'm gonna explain the reasons why I caution guys who didn't like him don't have too much fun with this. I'm gonna play the video that ultimately shows that it's not just his harassment. She thinks anybody with, I'll just say, your ideology, game changer, should be taken off this platform. She literally says it in this video. So it's like, so that's why I'm like, just because you don't like Obsidian, like I haven't talked to Obsidian since July 2022. So, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't like him, but we don't have a relationship or a friendship like that. But liking him or not liking him, I caution brothers, don't have too much fun with this. You know, don't be rooting and cheering. Don't be rooting and cheering. That's all I'm saying. But all right.
Because the people who make these decisions do not want to be responsible for making a subjective decision. So something like, and I'm saying this publicly because I'm telling the truth, right? I'm not stupid like that man. I'm sorry. I'm not an idiot and detailing things that are not only morally and ethically wrong, but literally illegal, talking about false criminal charges. He said,
I did not realize she talked this slow because I'll be listening to her in like 1.5 speed. Like this is like taking a longer than I thought for her to get to it.
That because we're living in a post Twitter files world, the Twitter files were after Elon Musk acquired Twitter. He released all of these documents about how left-leaning Twitter was and how they banned right-wing users for things they don't ban left-wing people from. That trust and safety at these social media platforms do not want to have to make subjective content decisions. So you have to present to them something that is a clear black and white violation of the platform's policy.
All right. When you hear that and understand that right there, you know then this wasn't done for ideological reasons on the YouTube end. They didn't just look at it and say Obsidian is the man, he's conservative, he's he makes he has some chauvinistic commentary. We don't like what he's saying, and we don't like what he's saying about her. She is a left-leaning liberal female, black female. We like what she's saying more. We're going to side with her more. It wasn't about that. Like she's admitting something that I've always knew, that yes, somebody, if the person who has the power to pull that trigger, they're just an employee. And if they pulled an employee off of, they pulled a trigger off of something that's subjective, that's not a black and white violation, and they terminate somebody's channel, and then all the channels that they terminate, the people make their case, and then they can get their channel back, then it's like, hold on, you're not doing your job right. So they are iffy. That's why people can have crazy wild out channels but never get terminated, because it has to be a clear guidelines a clear community guidelines violation. Pablo is saying copyright. I don't believe it's that. And she's about to explain how and why it's not that. So let me skip ahead. All right, hold on. I'm about to go right to the part where she explains how it's not copyright. And this part I don't want at 1.5 speed because y'all got to see how long and slow the pauses are, where she really has to gather her thoughts on what she's saying, because she knows that she stepped right on the edge of telling the real reason why his channel got taken down. But here it is.
Randomly throwing up video of my face next to porn.
That's important, but we got to go a little forward, little past this part.
It seems to me he thought that shit is funny. That's a joke.
Keep in mind, he's talking about those sucking paint videos where women, they do sipping paint parties. That's a normal thing. Then sometimes they do sipping paint parties with a exotic twist on it, where it's, I don't know, male strippers in there. Maybe they're sitting there painting the guy's body on the easel. I don't know what's going on there, but there's male strippers in there with their junk out, and stuff goes down. And some of it got recorded, and he associated that to her, because he played a video of her saying she wanted to host some sipping paint parties. He basically said, "Uh-oh, she's doing the sucking paint thing," and then played the actual videos of the sucking paint parties, where you see women painting on an easel, but also you see a guy with his junk blurred out, and they're also sucking. Well, I mean, I don't know if a whole lot of painting took place. It was an art. It was an easel right there in the general vicinity of the sucking, so maybe some painting got done. I don't know, but it was a wild out video that Obsidian played it and had a good time with it. And that's what happened. Yeah, in the words of the game changer, it was basically blurred out porn. He put blurred out porn on YouTube. And let's hear how she describes this, and you'll see my point here.
Like I said, this is my workplace. Where else is it cool for somebody to put your face next to porn in your workplace?
He had the blurred out porn playing with a video of her talking right next to the blurred out porn. All right. Hold on, we got to blow it up on this part. Hold up. All right.
Somebody to put your face next to porn in your workplace.
Oh, and shout out to number 16. Y'all can see his name in the upper right hand corner. Shout out to all the people who frequent Black Manosphere channels, who's twerking in the chat of a Black feminist channel. We shout out to number 16. We respect you and your pronouns and however you identify. No judgment over here. This is a safe space. Do your thing. No judgment. No judgment. Keep twerking in Black feminist chat rooms. All right, moving forward. Well, y'all listen to this. Listen to this. This is the important part.
Anyway, I'm glad I won't have to worry about that here again. And I promise y'all, if I see you repost it.
She said, if I see you repost it, that's a specific occurrence.
See, there's a big...
Yeah, did y'all see how long that pause was right there? That's the stuff you got to pay attention to. That was a long ass pause. I didn't mute or push pause right there.
If I see you repost it, see, there's a big difference, when, ooh, I can't say it.
See, this is where she's standing right on the edge of the cliff of explaining exactly what it was. And she tried to catch herself, and then she tried to reword it, but she's also going to say exactly what it was.
Look, there's a difference between fair use, right? Commenting on an image or a video and posting softcore porn on YouTube. One of those things is legally protected and the other is not. And unfortunately, Mark and Tishka are seeing which one of those are legally protected. Oh,
That was it right there. If you didn't catch or understand what she's saying right there, she's saying the whole idea of it being a copyright strike and all of that. No, that's protected. That's legally protected. It's protected under fair use. It's protected under a lot of things. But playing, which I think she called it softcore porn, but it was actually just porn, just blurred out. And shout out to Soul Provider Speaks. He was over there in her chat room too. We respect your pronouns. We respect your pronouns. It's a safe space, no judgment. He's over there twerking in her chat with number 16. We respect your pronouns. Yeah, see, there you go, right there on right. That was perfect timing. Look at that. There you go. Soul Watcher of the Multiverse, upper right hand corner. Yes. We respect y'all pronouns over there twerking in black feminist chat rooms. That's okay. That's okay. No judgment. No judgment. All right. So she said what it was. Copyright claims or fair use, all of that is protected. It's protected legally. It's protected under YouTube community guidelines. Playing blurred out porn is not protected under YouTube community guidelines, and it's not protected legally. Like what he did right there. And I'm gonna put. She said some more that I'm gonna pull up, but I do want to show, I do want to show something that I'm not going to play. Because remember when she looked at the camera and said, if y'all play it again, it will get taken down. That it is this right here. That video right there. If y'all have seen that thumbnail, that's the iceberg that sunk the Titanic right there. That video. I'm not going to play it, but that's the one. That's literally it. That's literally an objective community guidelines violation. That's objective and not black and white. You can't put blurred out porn on YouTube. There's no ambiguity with that. There's no in between with that. And then you couple it with the fact that he associated it with somebody who's not associated with that. Then that turns into all kinds of legal defamation and all of that. So I mean, it was clear cut. It was open shut. It wasn't about the
other positive
wasn't about the two people with ideological differences and he made it personal and blah 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 blah. It wasn't about that. Like so everybody who's sitting there saying, yeah, I told y'all not be talking about them black women. Those black they's gonna get y'all. Y'all's better cut that. No. You can still do the same content you've always done. Just don't do that. Or in the words of Hood Conservative, don't make a personalized target. The harassment that was attached to him doing that helped. But the fact of the matter is, and by her, I mean, I hate to say it, I hate to use her language, but I mean, she used stuff cyber terrorist or, she used a lot of language that I don't care for. That's a bunch of victim language, a bunch of the evil patriarchy is trying to do blah 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 to me and black women and DIE, what I said, diversity and diversity, equity, inclusion. If you're for that, then they're against you. And that she's gonna do that speech and rally the troops and all of that, but none of that even matters. None of that matters. And I would even argue that him contacting her behind the scenes, saying this or saying that, whatever he said, whatever back and forth her and her Obsidian and her boyfriend had behind the scenes, I would even argue that all of that don't matter as much. It helps. It add icing on the cake, but it really was just one big objective community guidelines strike. All the crazy stuff that Cynthia G has said. All the crazy stuff she said. The one thing that can't get mixed in with subjectivity and satire and entertainment and just, controversial social commentary was the abort black male babies. That's Somebody with a big platform saying do that, that does add up to genocide. That does add up to inciting a riot, advocating, not inciting a riot, but it's the same thing. You're trying to embolden people to do something that would amount to something clear-cut and decisive. A clear-cut, decisive community guidelines against community guidelines on YouTube. Like, that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. So, don't nobody got to walk on eggshells about doing content. I don't have to walk on eggshells about doing this. I don't have desire to do video after video after video about her and put her name and face in every thumbnail. I don't got no reason to do that. But, just like any other black woman on YouTube to say something crazy and, reaction videos is what I do. I might react to it if it's, if I think it's interesting enough, then I want to debunk it and refute it. You can do that. You can do that as much as you want. It's nothing here that says that, oh, we got to run for the hills or stop doing this and stop doing that. No, it was a clear-cut and decisive thing. You can't put blurred out porn on YouTube, and you really can't put somebody's face next to the blurred out porn and say that they're associated with it. That's what it was. And she basically said it. She basically said it and walked on eggshells while doing it, and she tried to reword it, but no, she said it. That's what it was. Make no mistakes about that. Make no mistakes about that. Now, the next thing that I got to get into, because it was something else that she said. So let me get ready to pull this up. Let me get ready to pull this up because I gotta do some criticism real quick. Let me get to the super chat. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Says, had Obsidian on my channel Friday to discuss. Absolutely. Yep. He was over there. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Let's get to the super chats. Where they at? Untitled, I believe that says Obsidian pack. What is? I don't know what those. I don't read emoji very well. Oh, those are cigarettes. Obsidian pack smoking. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I don't know what the hell that mean. Soul provider, get y'all money. You was over there twerking in the chat while she was getting her money. So you can get the hell on with that. You over there twerking in her chat with a pussy hat on. All right. Black Wealth and Power in the building says Obsidian been a weirdo. Let's be honest. I'm not going there. I'm not here to trash Obsidian. These last $2. I'm not here to trash Obsidian. That ain't what this is about, but do he do some weird stuff? Yeah. Yeah. But we just gonna leave that there. We gonna leave that there. I mean, that happens. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna open it up. We can talk about it, but yeah. All right, Mr. Radar in the building says super sticker. And I'll say this. And it's on GA Boy saying y'all better stop letting Obsidian on your panel. And I'm gonna play some more of what she had to say because it's gonna get real interesting. Even more interesting than what was already played. Here's the thing. And I heard somebody make a stream, they saying, oh, the Black Manosphere quiet on what that went on with Obsidian. Ain't nobody rallying behind him, everybody's scared. And I'm sitting there like, who really truly fucked with him like that, like at this point in the game? Like who really like I mean, he's burned a lot of bridges and a lot of people have just, went their own way on him. It was I can't name too many content creators who really truly rocked with him to the point to where, he was kind of on an island doing his own thing and building his own thing, still, using the I guess the status, the cachet, founding member of the Black Manosphere, founding father, one of the 3 founding fathers of the Black Manosphere. Like that was no doubt, his tagline. But I think it did slowly get to a point where everybody who was associated with the Black Manosphere, most of them in one way, shape, form, or another distance themselves. That happened, incrementally for various different reasons. So it's like he was kind of like I don't say a one-man army because he had a following, but it wasn't a bunch of content creators who really rocked with and rallied, with him and everything that he was doing and saying, because he's known for going left and saying some wild stuff. So it's like, people just like, hey, that's Obsidian, and everybody else did their own thing and he did his thing. That's more or less what it's been. But Mr. Radar, in the building, shout out to you. Do appreciate you putting $20 on it. Appreciate that. Andre and Andre love crossing borders in the building with some Colombian money. He said thank you. He says thank you for your honest commentary on this topic. No kicking the man while down. Yeah. I'm not gonna kick him. I'm not gonna kick him while he's down. Not gonna do that. For $10. Everything you want. The Mac the Trucker says it's like you say, Bernard, attack the argument, not the person. Yeah, attack the argument, not the person. I guess Obsidian didn't understand that. Nah, he whoa, keep it 100 is I know. Let's make a resounding no on that one. No, he didn't post any porn of the chick. No. He posted a sucking paint, sipping paint party where I guess it was some male strippers in there, and the chicks start, sucking on and it was all kind of sexual acts taking place. He blurred it out. I don't even want to get into this, but I actually did see, and I actually saw with my own eyes. I ain't say nothing. Me and Obsidian wasn't talking at the time, but it was in the far right hand corner of one of those. It was something not blurred out. I hope him and his people got rid of that. Because if I saw it, I know they had to see it, so I'm just assuming they got rid of it. But it was something in the background that didn't get blurred out. You could see some junk swinging, and it was yeah. So, but anyway, it was some blurred out porn, and he associated and attached her to it and implied that she does these type of sex parties or whatever, with, I would say, no evidence. Something that he could subtly connect to it in a ha laughing, joking kind of way. I see how you can make that connection and have some fun with it, but you can't post that on YouTube. And that's what he did. And she all but admitted that's how she got him down. But per new in the building with the $2 super chat, do appreciate that. Shout out to Game Changer. Observe and report, don't engage. Yeah, quit being petty. Shout out to GC. All right, is that it? All right. Here's the other part that gotta be played. And I would be remiss if I didn't play this. I would be remiss if I didn't play this. Yeah, they could have had a field day on Patreon with that. Keep it 100. Could have had a field day on on Patreon with that.
I knew that in order to get this done, I was going to have to build a case, and it was going to have to be a rock solid case. And the women who before me had discussed their experiences with this man helped me to build that rock solid case. There are some red pill men, I'll be honest. Not to shut out the red pill men, but there have been a couple of red pill men who we do not share. We do not share values. We do not share goals. We do not share politics. But they also helped me to build a case.
Y'all heard that right. Y'all heard that right out of the horse's mouth. Y'all heard it right there. It's dudes who she assessed to be red pill men who she don't share views in politics and blah, blah, blah with, that literally helped her behind the scenes build a case on Obsidian. And to that, I just have to say, I'm going to prove by another part of what she said, how stupid you are. But even if you don't like Obsidian, how stupid do you have to be to think that clicking up and teaming up with somebody like this to get him brought down? How stupid do you have to be to think that that's a good idea? But it's a part of me that's not shocked, because I would say sometime in around I would estimate it to be about April 2022, the space turned more into men talking shit about men, finding other ways to ridicule or just do a stream. It got to the point to where instead of doing what was considered Black Manosphere content, it got to the point to where doing streams where you talk shit about other people in the Black Manosphere, that became more of that became more of the content. That became more of what it's about. And in that way, I'm not shocked. Because within camp, I think the army of people who would click up with Black women to help bring a Black man connected to or associated to the Black Manosphere down, that was built on the inside. And they don't think nothing of it. They thought it was okay. They thought it was cool. It was dudes who, and a lot of them are still active. I don't follow all of them or keep up with them, but I still hear their name in circulation. A lot of them still active, with their whole content for damn near the last year or two or last 6 months or whatever has been more or less centered around criticizing men who criticize women. It's like they build it's like they're literally building their platform on coming onto the internet to criticize Black men for making true statements about Black women. It's like that's literally a thing that was going on, and that movement started within this space. So I'm not shocked that from within this space there's a lot of people who would be down to do that. I'm not shocked at all. Not shocked at all. But let's get further into it. Let me pull up another part about, hold on, I'll play, I think that's a little bit more of what she said there.
And I appreciate that. I would prefer if you were not a misogynist.
He's talking about the red pill men that helped her out. She's saying that she would prefer you not be a misogynist, but thank you for helping me take down somebody who I would, what I did to him, I would do it to you, but thank you for helping me do it to him. I'll find somebody else in the future to help me do it to you, but thank you right now, idiot. Like, that's basically what she's saying when she's like, I wish that you weren't a misogynist, but okay, thank you. It's like she's talking to y'all like y'all stupid, and y'all just sitting there, I don't get it.
I would prefer that. I would prefer if you were not sexist, but I guess in this particular case, thank you. I have some thoughts.
All right. Here's another part. I'm about to open this up soon. Give me a second. All right. Just to bolster the point of how stupid somebody is for clicking up with her. And hold on, let me make this bigger so we can look and see who's in the chat. Shout out to number 16 over there. Soul Provider still over there. I'm just looking at the names in that chat room, All right. He wouldn't qualify. What are you talking about? She said somebody red pill connected to the manosphere. That's just a general troll. That's a equal opportunity everybody troll. Well, he probably got some people he don't mess with, but no, like, y'all don't get it. All right. The anti-manosphere people are the people that walk around. They got 3 magical letters. Okay. Like, cut it out. Don't play dumb. Y'all know who like, come on. I'm not even saying the individuals that started that shit were the ones. I'm saying the army that they directly or indirectly built are the ones that go do that shit. No. Two of those people I'm definitely not saying. And one of them did say, if you make content about black women, YouTube should take your channel down. One of those three did say that. The other two I'm not talking about, even though I think they spearheaded and helped to cultivate the Black Manosphere audience that spends their time hating on the Black Manosphere. They did bring that to the game, and they flipped the Black Manosphere upside down on his head. But despite that, I thought that was some bullshit. I don't think they would do some shit like this. So I'm not going to pin that on them. I am going to pin. I do believe it was the army that they created. I do believe it was the army that they created, but I am not going to pin that on them. I'm not. But all right. And I'll even give them the out and say they can't control the gremlins that pop out of their back. Then once they out there, they out there. But so I'll say that. I'll say that. And hold on, let me see what GA Boy talking about here. He said, but nah, your listeners be in your chat tweaking, and people who dislike you chat twerking. It's the audience. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. JC, I'm with you. I don't think those three will do that, but one of them did say, if somebody come on YouTube talking about black women, YouTube should talk. If a black man come on YouTube talking about black women, YouTube should take their channel down. One of them did say that. So, I mean, so all I'm saying is a lot of the anti-black manosphere, disdain for the black manosphere was built and rooted in the black manosphere. Keep it 100, said it, not me. Now, I'm not saying that this man, I'll go ahead and say his name. I'm not saying MOT colluded with her to help get Obsidian taken down. I'm just saying that there are people who have such an anti-black manosphere view on things that I do think they sparked and built the army of people who would collude like that. I do think that's the case. And those that did that, I mean, that is the heart of just being dishonorable. And I'm about to show y'all exactly why. Let me make sure I got it to the part. Hold on. Since the names were said in the chat, I'll go ahead and make it clear. I'll look it right in the camera and make it clear. I don't believe Ramil and Ty City had shit to do with any of this. I just want to make that very clear. Only thing I'm saying is that they built an anti-black manosphere army, and I'm pretty sure whoever went over to and was pillow talking with her was a part of that resistance. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now here's why it was just dumb as fuck to go do that.
I'm not anti. What has this radicalized me against?
And now you running interference. That's what you're doing right there. Father Nancy, whatever that say. You're running interference. All right. Don't do that. Only she knows. I just played the video where she told us exactly why and how she got it done. Now, as far as who it was that, tipped her off. I mean, not tipped her. I think it was a clear-cut community guidelines violation thing that he did that got him got his channel taken. So whoever was talking to her that was she considered to be red pill or associated with the black manosphere, I don't believe that whatever they told her actually helped. Is just the mere fact that they did it. That's why it's a problem. I don't think she needed whatever they told, because like I said, It is a clean, pure, 100% clean cut, objective community guidelines violation. You cannot put blurred out porn on YouTube, let alone have somebody face next to it that was not even associated with it. That's legally wrong and YouTube community guidelines wrong. It is a clear, objective reason to get your channel taken down. So whatever somebody else said to her was irrelevant. I think she had everything she needed. So I'm just talking about the mere fact that somebody did go pillow talking. But listen to this.
So as I mentioned I'll just say it again, right? Mark has been caught many times recently and in the past saying that he likes to bring Black women down a peg. That this is fun for him, that this is a game for him, that this is jokes for him. And that ethos, that MO seems to be pretty common over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If that MO is as widespread as it appears to be, all of that shit does need to be shut down.
Like, that's why you was a goddamn fool. That's why you're literally a goddamn fool if you was over there talking with her for whatever reason, trying to get Obsidian taken down. She just said the people connected to the Black Manosphere who's red pill, she said they're misogynist, they're this, they're that. And she's basically saying that anybody who has that type of view, because those type of views are pervasive, they're ubiquitous, they're all over there, and all of that stuff needs to get taken down. So it's like you're gonna literally go team up with a Black feminist to get a Black man taken off of YouTube, and she's sitting there sarcastically saying, "Thank you, but I'm gonna find somebody else to team up with later to get your ass off of YouTube. But thank you for this one." It's like you got to be a dummy. You got to be a goddamn dummy to do that and do it with a straight damn face, clear conscience. Like you actually think that, like what did you gain? What did you benefit? It's like it's just stupid. Now, yes, Obsidian was wilding. Yeah, Obsidian should have been, left that alone. That shit was obsessive. It was weird. It wasn't the reason why I parted ways with Obsidian, but I was thinking the next time he do something crazy, I don't want to be standing next to him when he do it. And I'm glad I'm not standing next to him when he doing this crazy stuff. So it's like, so for that reason right there and that reason alone, I'm like, he dug his own grave. He played his own part in this. He did something that was ridiculous, that violated community guidelines. Objectively, not subjectively. Not, you can call it satire, you can call it a joke. You can't just call it controversial social commentary on something. No, it was a clear guideline violation mixed with all the, constant personalizing a particular target and all of that. Like that, yeah. He fucked up. That was stupid. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You can't get out of that one. It's no making your way outside of that. So yeah. He was wilding and he participated in his own YouTube execution by doing by really doing one particular thing. Everything else was just the stuff that made it to where he couldn't wiggle out of it and say it was satire, because she was able to show that there was a laundry list, a paper trail of him, persistently fucking with her. So he couldn't just say it was a one-off satire. So there's that. Now the link. About to put the link in the chat room. About to put the link in the chat room. There it go. Like the head go. There's the link right there. Link is in the chat room for anybody want to come up. I don't know if there's any super chats that I haven't read. I do like to acknowledge all the contributors to the show. So shout out to each and every one of you. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Get the hell out of here, Game Changer. I see you done. God damn it. I don't need you right now. Cause you one of the ones okay. It's some people who you having too much fun with this. I saw some of your commentary on Red Supreme. You having too much fun with this. Kristen Hutchinson in the building. He says, men self-regulate, even as KS said, if a man is doing something to damage the group, the men remove the perceived issue. So isn't this men policing? It depends. I understand completely what you're saying. And that's why I say he brought it upon himself. That's why I do say he brought it upon himself. But something is wrong with men colluding with black feminists who would chop their head off all the same. It is something wrong with that. That is absolutely something wrong with that. And the whole idea of the group, like that's kind of been done. Like there hasn't been no moving on one accord group unity in this space in a long time. This space has been so divided. It's really not even a space. It's just a random collection of content creators. So I do kind of look at it as just a random collection of niggas who decided to just click up with a black feminist to just get a black man taken off YouTube for what reason I don't know. And that's that. But I do understand your point. There is a there of separating you. I separated myself from him. I didn't try to get him taken off YouTube. Like that's where it does turn into some bullshit to me. Just flat out. All right, we are joined. Okay, shout out to Nick Penn. He says you're making great points, Bernard. Absolutely, man. Thank you very much.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Game Changer said, Hashi said, Peg. You see why I want you? See why I want to deal with you? Game Changer. J3 in the building says, Bernard, Old Man and Ren morning show was legendary comedy gold. Yeah, it was. Actually, when you saw Obsidian on my show regularly back in 2020, that was really where I stole the idea from. When I saw him going over there, I knew that wasn't going to last long, so I seized the opportunity. As soon as that fell apart, I seized that opportunity. So yeah, that was gold. That was gold. Shout out to you. But all right, we're joined by Game Changer, who having too much damn fun with this. But all right, go ahead, GC. What you got, man?
Well, no, I mean I am having fun with the irony of the situation, and just the personality and the personalities involved that led to this. It is, I mean, I can't lie, it is funny. I mean, and I didn't want to see this happen, but it happened. It's you know how you don't want something to happen, but when it happens, it's funny. Like you don't want to see like a blind person get smacked in the face with a frisbee, but you see, you laughed. You see, you laughed
because normally when somebody get hit with a frisbee, it was a moment where they had time to flinch. He's just sitting there, just enjoying his day on a park bench. No flinch, no nothing, just pow.
It's that feeling. You laughed. I mean, it's like I didn't want that to happen. I wasn't sitting there like that's I want this to happen, but it happened, and you're gonna laugh. Like, I mean, so that's how I feel about it. In all honesty. Now, of course, not really liking the person is makes it easier to do that.
Wait, hold on, time out. I will acknowledge that point from somebody I don't fuck with, but I will acknowledge that point. That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. That Donovan Sharp the only person that cared about Obsidian that much. I give you that. I give you that. All right, carry on. I'll acknowledge your point, even though I don't fuck with him, but I acknowledge your point. All right.
But no, so yeah, it's really like that. I mean, I'm joking around, I'm playing, but no, I didn't want to see that happen to him. There are other people that I'm on the outs with that like Obsidian, I just ignore, and I don't really, want to see it happen. If under certain circumstances it happens, it's still funny. It's still funny.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I mean, I can't laugh too much. I mean, I can't laugh at all. I don't think it's funny. But I mean, I know the history with you and Obsidian, so I get it. I get it. I don't have that history with him, so it's like I mean, I got a history with him, but it's not a divisive history. Like y'all have had a lot of showdowns right here on my show, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
well, yeah, and that was a difference. That was a difference of ideas, that we had on your show.
Yeah.
So, never would I place a picture of him next to blurred porn, because you just got to like leave things in certain places, and yeah, that's where I would leave it. Yeah, because why can't GC not like, oh man, after everything? I don't get that.
What are you talking
Jackie
about?
Jack said, I don't think it's funny. I don't think that the act of getting kicked off of YouTube is funny. I think that everything around it is funny. The blurred out porn aspect is funny, like things like that. But no, not the action itself.
Mm-hmm.
The irony of somebody saying observe and report but do not engage. And then this is what happens when you engage. Like this is an over engagement. This is the exact opposite of observing and reporting. This is extreme engagement. Like, so yeah, I can't help but like notice the irony of it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, was it with me? Was it? No. Okay. So they're asking, was that? No, I don't do stuff like that. No, I don't team up with, it's not a victory lap because, it's not something I was putting on him. Like, it's not my victory, it's hers. And I'm not taking a victory lap with that bitch. So like,
that's why I was criticizing some recognizable names in the chat room who in her chat room that I'm like, damn, y'all in there popping champagne bottles with black feminists, like really, like that was just weird. But okay,
yeah, but OG5 said it best. He gave her too much energy, and that's the funny part, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, we joined by Dr. Thunder. Go ahead. What you got?
What's happening, man? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to talk to you too, man. What's up?
All right. So yeah, I had him on the show on Friday, and subsequently, I did a sort of impromptu live on Saturday, and then went on Kim Foster's channel. She does a Saturday evening thing, and I was cordial. And if anybody has watched either one of the videos where she was anywhere related to the topic, I didn't call anybody names. I didn't say, I was respectful. I mean, everybody knows I'm, that's not what I do. But they was trying to kick me out the chat, and so whatever.
You went over to her channel?
Yeah, I went over to her channel because she was doing a.
Oh damn!
She was
doing that up.
Okay. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was doing a she was doing it's something on Black excellence, and I've had all kinds of folks on my channel that I don't agree with on much of anything, but I like having conversations. And one thing that I don't like about this whole thing is,
Wait, hold on, wait, Dr. Thunder. I'd be remiss if I didn't just make sure I'm hearing this right. So after she got Obsidian banned from YouTube, and then you did a one-on-one with him featuring Obsidian,
right?
then you tried to go to her channel to have an unrelated conversation about Black excellence.
Okay, so she
Is
was
that what
doing,
happened?
yeah, she was doing she was doing a show on Black excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just happened to see that she went live, and this was after we had she commented on the video of Obsidian that I had Obsidian. She commented on the video, and we went back and forth, and yeah, and it ended on a good note, but she also said that she'd never go on a channel because I gave her an opportunity to come on. She was upset because.
Oh wait, hold on, wait. I'm sorry. I was fucking around reading the chat room. Was this conversation taking place in the chat room, or were you up audibly talking to her like we're talking?
No. It was so two different events.
Okay.
The Saturday evening, I just went over to her channel because she was live, and there was no link or anything like that. It's a solo thing. I was just in the chat.
Okay.
And she didn't respond to me at all in the chat, right? I know she noticed that I was in there because some of the moderators and stuff were like, "Hey, get this cat out of here," or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was just commenting on what it was that she was saying currently, which wasn't actually against her perspective. But prior to that, she had commented on Obsidian's video. Oh, I'm sorry, my video where Obsidian was on, the video from Friday. And she was basically, you seem like a reasonable guy. Why would you have this guy on here? Blah, 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 like this. We went back and forth a few times. And she actually apologized during that thread to me. And then, but also said that she would never appear on my channel because, I platformed somebody that was her enemy, basically. And I just said to that, and it's unfortunate that that is grounds for you to not want to appear on, a platform because your enemy, because somebody that you disagree with was on there. So that happened before I went over to her channel, and she wasn't trying to kick me out. She wasn't even paying attention to that I was in the chat. It was other folks that were in the chat. And I've had some folks from her channel come over and attempt to heckle me and stuff during some of my live streams, and and I actually featured one of them. We went back and forth in the thread in the comments on my show this morning. But yeah, it's too bad what happened to Obsidian. But yes, we know that he tends to toe the line. That's what he does. He that's just, and apparently he did that prior. It got one of his channels taken down.
That was in very poor taste. I have to say that was in very poor taste.
What was in poor taste?
When you said he tends to toe the line, I see what you was doing with that. You're talking about the man's foot. You said that he tends to toe the line. Toe? Really, Dr. Thunder?
Come on, man.
I don't know what you're saying, man.
He said,
but I don't know what you mean. I don't know. I don't understand what you think I'm saying.
You see the man has a cane, and you said he tends to toe the line. You're talking about his toes. I'm saying.
No, you wasn't.
Okay.
This is back. This is back. That's the issue, not the.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But he tends. He tends to be a crap starter. Yeah. Go ahead. No, but he tends to toe the line. He tends to be a crap starter. We know this. He's folks were telling me he's radioactive before I had him on Friday. You know, I could risk getting my channel taken down. But if you watch the video, it's not like, I mean, I'm telling folks to not even use her name during the stream.
Yeah, it's not about
You
that.
know.
It could be, I believe, I don't know for sure, but right now I am tentatively operating under the belief until I go look it up that if somebody is banned on YouTube and you host them on your channel, you're not going to lose your channel for that, but that is a violation that YouTube will probably send you an email about if the right person reported and it go through the right channels and it get to them in time. They will send you an email about it. You may get a warning or a strike or something. And so I'm assuming, I'll look it up and find out for sure, but I think doing that repeatedly, I think that will cost. I think it will put a channel in jeopardy. But I mean, you're fine just doing that just once because you know it's. But
Yeah.
I think it's an issue. I mean, I like for example, I can't prove it, but Nick Fuentes being banned on YouTube, fresh and fit with a platform that big hosting him. Can't prove it, but I do believe that's what ultimately got them, you know, demonetized. I can't prove it, but that's what I tend to believe. Or as Game Changer said, it's like if somebody is, you know, disinvited or not allowed, not permitted to be on the guest list of a party, and then you bring that person as a +1, it's like, you know, it's like we see what you did there. So it's like, so it's I can see that being a violation. I don't think you're in any danger, but I do think it's an issue if something like that is repeated. I do. So that's
Yeah,
the
and I'll just say this last thing. You were talking about so-called red pill guys going over and helping her,
yeah.
and how ridiculous that is. And you did not say who it might be, but there may have been an implication somewhere. And one of these individuals, these three-letter individuals, said, I mean, what was it? I was in the chat at the time, and he said that I didn't deserve to be alive, and that uh, based on producing any commentary on, I mean, my morning shows tend to be just reacting to whatever videos, whatever comes across
You
my
said
thread. Not
somebody was in her chat room and they said that Obsidian said that
no
he
no
didn't
no no
deserve
no
to
no
be
no no
alive.
no no no.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about one of these three-letter people that you were talking about.
Okay. So
Okay,
Obsidian said one of them didn't
no
deserve to be alive.
no 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 no. The one of the three-letter people said, he said that I didn't deserve to be alive
Okay.
because I don't know. He must have watched one of my videos in the morning. One of my
So
morning
somebody
videos.
said you didn't deserve to be alive. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, one of
Yeah,
the people that was speculated about earlier.
it's people crazy out here with it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
crazy with a large platform and able to say that kind of stuff. But then, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily the case, allegedly or possibly was involved in whatever just happened. That's just crazy. You don't think that stuff is ever going to come back to you? I'm just
All right. Shannon Rose, and I generally I trust what this brother has to say. He says, no, it does not put your channel in jeopardy. You can host as a guest a banned user. YouTube does not expect us to know everyone they ban. And that's why I said that if you get a warning and if YouTube contacts you about it or says something to you about it and you keep doing it, I think it might be a process. But that is a strong point that I was thinking about as well. You know, like for example, I'm pretty sure Tommy Sotomayor is banned on YouTube. I put the link in the chat. Tommy Sotomayor pops up. How could they hit me with a strike? I didn't know he was banned, even though I kind of know. I don't know. I don't, you know. So it is a slippery slope, gray area there. It is a slippery
And,
slope
and
gray
and
area there.
Cynthia G was being hosted by what's the name? Was the Stormy dude or whatever? Um, it was being hosted by him, and she was saying all of the same stuff that got
Okay.
her kicked off, and his channel was fine. So I don't know, and
Yeah.
she went on his channel multiple times.
Okay. Cool. Well, now I'll rest it right there. I was operating on some assumptions, and I said I was going to go look it up, but I'll let that rest right there. That there's no, let the record show, based off the current evidence we got, there's no violation in hosting somebody that's banned, as far as we know. So yeah. So all right, cool. We're gonna work it from there. We're gonna work it from there. But all right. The link is in the chat. Anybody want to come up and have their say on this? My overall general point is that it wasn't just general pestering of a black woman that got Obsidian banned. It was a clear-cut objective community guidelines violation that got him banned, and most of us saw the video. You put blurred out porn on YouTube and put somebody's face next to it, that's clear cut and objective. And she all but said it. she pretty much said it. Her exact words was something like, copyright infringement is legally protected, but putting somebody's image but playing softcore porn or putting somebody's image next to softcore porn is not legally protected or whatever like that. So there's that. She basically explained what it is. It had to be objective. It couldn't be something subjective or just in general pestering and bothering somebody. She got him on something clear cut and objective, and that's pretty much what it was. So my biggest message is, people who do this type of content, you don't gotta run for the hills or say, oh, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about that. No, it was something clear cut, precise, and objective that did it. And that's just that. But we are joined by the Grinch. What's going on? What's up?
What up with it? Hey,
What's
I
happening,
just,
Grinch?
hey, what up? What's happening? What's good? GC Thunder, what's going on?
What's good?
Bernard. Hey, so you know this, he always has pushed the limits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He always has did that. I didn't have no idea he played some softcore or anything. I guess he, but what
Regular
can you?
porn that's blurred out. It's not softcore. It's regular porn
Oh,
blurred out.
so what was his point in doing that though?
Because, all right, chicks be doing something called sipping paint parties where they drink wine and they paint. That chicks do that. Every now and then they do it with some weird exotic twist where it be male strippers in there. But most of the time it just be painting and sipping wine and painting and shit. And but so he played a video of the exotic version of it where it was like dudes, strippers with their junk blurred out, and chicks, it was sexual acts being performed and it was blurred out. And he heard her say that she wanted to host a sip and paint party, and then he basically put her name next to it. I mean, put her face next to the sucking and painting, because she said she wanted to host a sip and paint party, and associated that with her, and that was like a clear-cut community guidelines violation. So,
Man, that nigga is hilarious, man.
I know
Look,
that's
hey,
why it is funny, but it ain't funny.
yeah, that nigga.
Hey,
He paint, but when people say paint party, when bitches say that shit, they talking about them getting their faces painted like fucking nut ropes over their fucking jaws and shit. That's what they talking about.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Hey, I gotta go, but thanks for letting me come up. See y'all later.
For sure.
Peace.
All right. Well, I just came up here to say this though. Like,
yeah.
Obsidian told, like, he pushes the limits, but I think personally, and he's done some fucked up shit, but who hasn't? My thing is, like, he's one of, as much as, look, he's one of us. No matter how the fuck you look at it, he's one of us, and I think, like, no matter, it doesn't matter what the other side do. Like, the other side talking about they want to abort us before we get the chance to breathe and some more shit. Like,
Yeah.
Obsidian making a joke Like they've did way worse. Like so, regardless of what people might think personally of the man, it's the principle. Like, look, it don't matter if that. Look, that's how we got to stick together. It don't matter when we right or wrong. Now, if we wrong, we can discuss that amongst each other. But when it's
Mhm.
the opposition, man, fuck the other side.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I agree with you to a certain extent, Grinch, but what do you mean when you say one of us?
He's advocating for something that black men want. And if we be for real, and y'all know I'm not part of this crew, but at the same time, like,
What is he advocating for that we want?
okay, I'll tell you, he's advocating for black relationships. And there is and even though I might not
I
be
don't,
on there, you
wait.
might not be on that, but there are people here who are. And if we fucking act like that doesn't exist here, then we're just kidding ourselves.
So when you say what we want, you're saying that we want to 100% support overweight single mothers?
No, nigga, why the fuck would
So,
I say
so,
that?
so, I mean, I don't see like the what we want part. Like, I
Okay,
mean,
so
I look at,
because you're personalizing it. Take yourself out of it. It's
okay.
people here who want relationships, and some of them want that with black women. And if you look at anything Obsidian has did, he's advocating for black love. Whether you agree or disagree with his perspective, he has a congregation of people who comes and visits his channel on the regular. They appreciate what he does, and he, whether you like it or not, and this is what black men need to get over. Agency is paramount at the core of everything that we're talking about. We're talking about exercising our own agency. When you talk about, well, I don't want that, da da da, and you see, I don't got no smoke with it. In fact, I agree with you, but
Hmm.
that's agency, and that's what we're defending here. We're defending, and even though Obsidian may be in the wrong with the community guidelines and all that shit, anybody who's an advocate for black male agency for whatever we want to do, because that's what it means to break these chains. It means to not be trapped or pigeonholed to things that we haven't decided for ourselves. It means exercising our agency no matter what, and no matter which one of us does it, it should be defended.
Well,
And
Grinch, I hear you, but when I say, okay, if you have any type of organization, whether it's man, or fraternity or a gang or something like that, you have to have some type of barrier of entry. You can't just say like this person is one of us because he's black and he believes in what I believe in. There's certain ways that a person has to move in order for the organization to work and function properly. Now, if a person shows a consistent behavior that works against the best interest of the collective and allow others and making the collective vulnerable to attacks from others constantly, then you have to question, is this person one of us or is this person a liability? Think about like 300, right? And you had like Leonidas and crew, and then you had this hunchback. He wanted to be down, and yes, he was born in Sparta. He was born as a Spartan citizen. But they had to say, like, listen, you can't be one of us simply because you are a liability. You can't hold your shield up the same way as everybody else. If you attempt to, other dudes will get arrowed. So, I mean, I get when you say, he's one of us because he's a black man and he shares our views. However, if a person moves and behaves in a way that makes them a liability to the collective, then they cannot be allowed in that collective, or the collective will fail with that person.
no, I agree with that. But see, but here's we get now it's time for the history lesson, right?
Okay.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that. However, there is a large amount of people here. Hey, when we talk about back in the day, when people talked about the big three, they talked about the Angry Man channel, they talked about O'Shea Duke Jackson, and they talked about Obsidian Media Network, and that got to be known as one of the three main pillars of whatever you would call it, stage two or the second phase or Manosphere 2.0, whatever people call it. My whole thing is he was elected. And so my thing is, if you want to motherfucking get him out of here, or if there's a great amount of people that wants to do that, then all right, well then handle it in house. My problem is, and I haven't agreed with a lot of shit Obsidian's done. But
Mhm.
the thing is, if he's elected, I'm I'm with the shit enough to be like, okay, well, there's people here who appreciate him, who resonate with him enough for him to be elected as a leader or a figurehead in this motherfucker. My thing is now that that shit's already done and that shit's already on the books. Now that he's in the hot seat, we can't just turn around and be like, well, fuck this nigga now. We should have been did it if we was gonna do it, or we
I
should
been did
handle
it.
it in house.
Hold on. I did been do it. Just to be clear,
What do you mean by that?
I did been said fuck this nigga a long time ago. I made my declaration clear, over a year ago when I said why I'm cutting ties with Obsidian. So
All right, and hold on, but GC, and to both of y'all points, because there's some overlap there. I cut ties too, because within like the parts of his message that was good, that I agreed with, his message would change a lot, and then it's just like I can't even stand next to somebody. I don't know where they stand from one day to the next, month to the next, or sentence to the next. So I cut ties, just like you did.
I mean, I think everybody
Hold on,
did.
real quick. Yeah. That's the point I made earlier. I think everybody did. But where the problem comes in
Well, everybody
is
up
that
here.
when she admitted, when she said on the live stream that it was people who was red pill, who she considered to be red pill misogynists connected to the manosphere, who was talking to her, giving her information to help bring him down. That's where I draw the line, and that's bullshit. I mean,
Yeah,
I can separate.
that is some snaky. That's some snaky
Yeah,
bullshit. Why
I
would you
I
give the
can
ops help?
agreed. No, I
Yeah,
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But I mean, that doesn't mean, I declare, the brother is one of us. I'm just saying, like, I mean, look, I
I
would
no,
never.
I get what you mean. I'm with you on that. But the thing is, we in this bitch now, though, bro. Like he
Well,
here.
well, in that case, I do got to ask an honest and open question,
mhm.
GC.
What's up?
What about the super chats to her the other day?
Huh?
Wasn't there super chats provided to this said person?
From me, probably.
Okay, but that's the thing.
What? Wait, hold on. What happened? Let's be clear.
What
What
happened?
happened? What are we talking about?
Wasn't there super chats provided to the person of interest, the lady?
Salty balls. And shout
Oh,
out to you.
you
That's
saying I super chatted or no?
Okay, okay.
When I said
woo,
when I
I
said
was
maybe, no, when I said maybe, I thought you were asking if I ever super chatted Obsidian. I thought that was a weird question, but I was like, yeah, maybe. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I did.
okay.
Okay.
So let's be clear. And shout out to you, Salty balls. I think this is your first time coming up on here. Definitely salute to you,
No,
man.
but
But
Salty, just so you know,
but
I never talked in her chat room. I never super chatted her. I don't know the bitch at all.
all right.
Okay.
Like
So
until this
let's
incident, I don't know anything about her.
all right. So let's
Okay.
be clear. I want to talk to you about. Let's be clear about what exactly are you saying that happened that
Oh
somebody
no, I
did.
mean, no, I'm just clear. I'm just clarifying. I guess it's for the public record in that case. There's rumors and things going on or whatnot, but he stated no. I mean, that's that. That's the end of that. But
All right.
here's
Well, I
the,
mean, niggas is starting rumors. That's completely baseless. Because I mean, I'm not. Yeah.
if you said no, then I'm gonna leave it. I mean, it's just dead on the hill. But what I
Yeah.
do, what I do like to put out there is at the end of the day, people are gonna have their divergent views. Not
Mhm.
everybody's gonna agree on 100% of things or whatnot. And if it is true that somebody within the fold have given information or whatnot to more or less allow the public LYNCH ing of Obsidian, because that man has a family, that man has people that care about
Yeah.
him too, and at the end of the day, as a black man, that's wrong. That's totally wrong, and that is very much antithetical to this space altogether. I mean, just like what you said, I mean, it would be tantamount to heresy or
Mhm.
whatnot if it ain't if it ain't full coat. It really, die doesn't count. But what I would also like to more or less point out is, this sort of fragmentation, at least public fragmentation, has been allowed to, be exploited to, ultimately silence voices. And so at what point
Facts.
does pride and, all these things come together? Because here's the thing. Say what you want about Obsidian or whatnot. I see that the sort of connections with the Manosphere Conclave onto the upskilling and that sort of thing. There's things that brothers benefit from or whatnot. And this is somebody who doesn't have any stake in the fight whatsoever. I support Obsidian. I support Bernard. I mean, I didn't even know about any of the different things or whatever the case may be because I don't care about that. I'm here to support black men in general. But I would say that at the end of the day, at what point, do we think to ourselves, like, is this a hill that we want to die on? You know what I mean? Because we already know what that information dark age, was tantamount to. So I like to land my plane there.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead, DC.
I mean, Salty, you talk about making public displays of division and things like that, and these are codes that brothers need to abide by in order for any system to work. Correct?
Well, I mean, is there a certain sort of written creed or anything like that?
It doesn't have to be written to understand it. Like no snitching, isn't written amongst criminals. But it's understood. Like not everything has to be written. We do understand that as men, you don't make a public display of disunity. Correct?
Yes, generally, yes. Oh, I would agree with that. Go ahead.
You just said that. So when I, detached myself from Obsidian, it was because he made a public display of disunity. Him, Bernard, and I had a private conversation where I expressed my disunity with some of the things.
Don't go into the details of that private conversation because it was private.
Saying, like in the private conversation, we had disunity that he made public, which means that by the very bylaws that you just stated, he was in violation of that. And that's when I decided to cut ties.
Well, by your very argument, then that means that it's two people, violating the no snitch policy. Because somebody else does something dishonorable, are you going to go on ahead and alter your creed, your adjustment, who you are, your resolute, and your code? Because
it's honor amongst a collective. He's no longer in the collective. That's what detaching from a person means.
I'm saying by that point, okay, you displayed sense. And from what I've seen and what I've objectively observed, numerous public displays of division. Would you agree or disagree?
Once again, I told everybody I am not with him. So it's not division. It's a separate entity.
Okay.
Like we're not part of a unified front because we're not united anymore. And we're not united because he displayed public division to women through email on purpose.
All I'm saying is Bushido code is Bushido code. You show it to people who are observers of it or not.
And he is not. So there you have it. Like, I mean,
okay.
Well, all right. Let me say this. Let me try to direct it here. Like, what's being said in the super chat is relevant. So I'll read that. He says, once Obsidian shown us he can switch up, it wasn't no coming back. Could nobody save him? Now, the thing about that, it was a moment, and some people know the history, some people don't. A lot of that history played out on my channel where the switch up was so strong. I understand Game Changer saying he ain't one of us. Like, I get that completely. I dealt with it by just quietly separating from him. Now, eventually he switched back and started operating and talking like one of us. So I was like, cool. And he grew and built his audience back. I was like, cool, good for him. And then he started doing this crazy stuff over there again. So it's like, it's always something. So I dealt with that by just quietly separating myself and just not standing next to him. That's how I dealt with that. And so it is something to be said. And me and GC have, talked about this before. And, I understand Game Changer's argument. He don't show honor to the dishonorable. And in his assessment, Obsidian did some dishonorable things. So I get that. And I kind of grant a Game Changer that, I guess liberty to go ahead and say what he got to say. Not that he needs me to grant his liberty, but I understand that that's what he's doing. I understand that, but I think even though, like, I haven't talked to Obsidian since July of 2022, and I have my views on him, I'm still going to, I'm going to acknowledge the clear-cut, decisive things that he did wrong that to bring this on himself. But at the same time, this is some black YouTube feminists that literally said all of us should be taken off the platform. So that's why I'm like,
But that's why
now
we
ain't the
don't allow
time.
that to happen. That's
Now,
why we don't let them do that.
and that's why I'm like, now ain't the time to for the people that don't like them to pile on Obsidian. But how can I even say that when she admitted that it was red pill people behind the scenes helping feed her information about him to help her get him taken off the platform? So it's like the
I gotta
shit
go.
been, yeah.
I gotta go. My bad. I gotta go. But just to end it on this, look, if you niggas wanted to get Obsidian out of here before, like, more than just being on some shit where you just do what GC did or what I did, what a lot of people did. We look, if we're gonna move as a unit, niggas gotta understand how to, and you don't do that
We don't
by making
understand how to.
individual decisions to separate without putting it to the people. Like, I remember, matter of fact, I think it might have been either on your channel, Bernard, or Obsidian's. But we put a vote, we pushed it to a vote about Taz. This is back when, during that time where he was bringing all the Strags and everybody else through, right? Like, the thing is, we need to have something like that, so that way you can put this to rest. But the thing is, we have that after we help that nigga get back on. And I know it probably don't make sense to some of y'all, but we not gonna let no little feminist bitch come through this motherfucker talking her shit. You feel me? And utilizing YouTube policies and the little motherfuckers in the clouds and shit to motherfucking fuck one of us off. And the thing is, we dismiss a motherfucker on our time, not when the feminists decide, let me run it up on a nigga. But that's all I got, yo. I gotta go.
I agree. And it's a lot of people, having too much fun with the situation beyond just, it was people. I just can't. It was people over there literally in the chat room. It was people over there super chatting her. It was Game Changer wasn't over there, but it was people over there super chatting her. But no, I'm So I'm with you.
That rumor.
Yeah. Point of fact. I stand corrected. My apologies. My apologies.
All right, we joined by somebody else on the panel. Don't know if I'm familiar with you. It says, well, just introduce yourself. Go ahead, you got it.
Hey, Bernard and chat and panel. Andre of Love Crossing Borders. And there are two things that are a part of this argument that we're going back and forth on, but we're ignoring the other half. The first half is the argument. The other half is the policies. Agreements. What I mean by the argument is whether you agree with the stance of Obsidian or if you don't. And we're having that back and forth banter, which is very healthy for a lot of us. But we're forgetting about the other part, that since there are so many of us that are of African-American descent that are on YouTube now, we're forgetting the part that we need to be just as adamant about, and that is the policies. We kind of speak over the policies or go over the policies. One of the things that we as people of color need to take advantage of is YouTube's certification. It's been there for years. Remember, YouTube is building this plane as they jumped off the cliff. They're building the plane as it goes. So the policies change.
Hold on, y'all, real quick. I'm listening, but I do got to step away for a split second. But go ahead, y'all got it.
So the policies do change often. And so what criticisms we give with the argument of whether we agree with Obsidian or the young lady or not today, that same method that we're using to argue may cause us to be banned from YouTube in the future. So do remember, guys, it is very, very important for many of us to go to either vidIQ and get their free understanding of YouTube, or go to TubeBuddy or Morningstar. And all of these have free certifications for us as people of color to understand the real policies behind YouTube. Because let's look at it from this perspective. If a person such as Obsidian and all these other even white male content creators can be banned, Fresh and Fit, not being white, but can be banned, a lot of their being banned is because they didn't stick to the policies. Whether we agree with the argument side or not, that's here or there, and that's subjective. But when it comes to the YouTube policies, many of us on these platforms haven't even taken the YouTube certification test, or we'll take a couple of steps test when we get a copyright strike. And when you get the strike, they tell you have to take this little quick quiz before you are able to get that strike taken away from you. So the reason why I came on is not to emphasize on whether we agree or disagree with what happened to Obsidian, whether he was weird or not. Obsidian has always been his own type of personality, just like Oshay has been his own type of personality. Bernard has his personality, so it is with Angry Man as well. So we all can choose a way of agreeing or disagreeing with a particular content creator. But the one thing that we can't disagree on and can't ignore is Obsidian and others right now, the past couple of years, has brought light to the fact that we need to start really taking serious YouTube's policies. If you're a person that makes reaction videos, you really need to know the policies on reaction videos and not assuming, because many of us who are doing this are making the money. Everything is going great, but at the same time, we're assuming that we know what the policies are in regards to that. And just because we got the green, when you post your video and you got the green instead of the yellow dollar sign, you think you did everything correctly. And YouTube does have the right to come back months later, if not days later, once a complaint is filed, just like in Obsidian's case. It wasn't immediate. He had been showing that video off and on for quite a while. But once the policy, somebody implemented and said, hey, this guy is in violation of not just me. It's not the argument of me that the young lady could stand on. It was the argument of the policy that the young lady could stand on. So once we as people of color stop taking for granted that we assume that we know what YouTube policies are, I think there'll be less incidences of us, especially in this type of atmosphere where we need each other, of being banned from YouTube. And that's the only thing that I really want to say. And usually when you get to it, number two thing I want to say is, and I know I sound like I'm rambling a little bit. Number two thing, and Bernard can attest to this, once you hit to a certain level of YouTube, there'll always be a game changer. No offense to you, game changer. There'll always be somebody that'll have something to say against you. There'll always be somebody with a commentary. I've been past the 100,000 subscriber mark. I have 5 channels. There'll always be somebody that has something to say. So you have to be prepared in regards to that genre of YouTube as well. In other words, toughening your skin. I like how Bernard said we didn't agree, but we separated and no one went back and forth with banter towards each other. That's how it's supposed to be done. There's plenty of times that I could have said something about somebody had posted a video about this or responded about this and that easily. And some of the best compliments that I've gotten, Bernard, were from guys that emailed me and said, I saw you on so-and-so's channel. She was very disrespectful. And I appreciate how I saw you handle that like a man. You made brothers look good. It's those little things like that causes individuals to appreciate us. So smaller channels, it's easy to talk crazy when you're the smaller channel. You're under 20,000 subscribers. You're under 50,000 subscribers. You're nowhere near 100,000. It's easy to bring back and forth the banter. Once you start getting larger, be prepared and don't be surprised if, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but if that part of the of your content experience as a YouTuber is brought up on you. So it's easy to sit back and we laugh at or criticize or have these statements about Obsidian, but do realize as you get larger as a content creator, it's coming for you. And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying it will come. If you're a serious content creator, if you are putting out a quality product, there will always, and even if you put out a product that most people or some people don't agree with, except your niche, there will always be somebody to criticize you. But I go back to my first point is with this argument, let's make sure we as men of color, if we want to stay on this platform and still have an impact, we do need to start taking those certification classes that YouTube offers freely, so we'll know when we're reacting to something or when we're responding to something that we're acting like we got some sense. And when it comes to YouTube also, Obsidian should have done more of his homework because it's in the policies, but you also have one of the largest YouTube platform niches, which is new yoga. Oh, you didn't know that existed?
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, certain things.
Wait a minute. Pause. Wait a minute.
classified as,
Pause for a second.
educational.
You didn't know that nude yoga existed on YouTube?
No.
Nude yoga is one of the biggest.
Oh, nude yoga.
Yeah,
I
nude
thought-
yoga.
Okay, nude yoga. Okay.
Yes, and so nude yoga is something that somebody can sit back and say, "Oh my God, the women don't have any," but it's accepted by YouTube. It's part of their. They've never banned it. It's here. You can look it up right now.
Yeah.
So, but the people who created that niche knew the policy.
Right.
That's what my point of saying that is. They knew the policies. That's what we of color need to know just as much as those people that put up that created that niche know the policies. We as people of color need to make sure that we're on top of it when it comes to knowing policies and not assuming. Thank you, Bernard.
Hey, thanks for coming up. I put his link in the chat room for those who are interested. I think there it is right there. Hopefully I did find your right channel, but there it is right there if y'all do want to subscribe to that brother. Look, yeah, I mean that's stuff that people, I mean, I don't think the Obsidian issue was a not understanding policy issue. I do believe
No, it's a policy that say don't put blurred out porn on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that.
I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know. I mean, yes, black people need to take YouTube serious and understand how it works, understand what's allowed and what's not allowed. But I do think that was a situation where he was going for blood for whatever reason, I don't know, and he was risking it all. And I do think that is the case. And I do want to shout out LB Crypto, who said something. Where you at? You said something like Obsidian always called you a friend. After that, yeah, and I like I said, it was probably maybe 95% of everything I've ever heard him say about me after me and him parted ways. 95% of it's been favorable for me. About 90% of it's been favorable. It was some times where I did mention some things, just like I mentioned some things today. But for the most part, yes, we parted ways. No beef, no problem, no drama, no reaction videos or clapping back about nothing or that. We just parted ways as men should, and without no nonsense. So yeah, I do want to make that clear. If that was ever lost in anything that I said, I didn't do this stream to come at Obsidian. The biggest takeaway that I want people to understand here is that yes, it was a black feminist who, you could argue is the ideological opposition to a lot of the things that the black manosphere, the people in the black manosphere say. And it could be framed and it could be looked at like just, his ideology versus her ideology, and YouTube just sided with her ideology because she's a woman and so forth and so on. But I'm like, no, I see a clear community guidelines violation. And when I see something like that, it ain't no need for everybody to panic and run for the hills, because, it was something clear and objective. And she even made that point clear, that the way that she got him, it was because of a clear and objective community guidelines violation. So like nobody has to be walking on eggshell because they have social commentary that black women disagree with. Like, so there's no need to be walking on eggshells about that. Like, we can still get up the next morning and do YouTube as we've been doing YouTube. So in that sense, the sky is not falling for Obsidian, even though he'll tell you he's fine. Losing your YouTube channel is fucked up. Ain't no other way around that. So yeah, the sky is falling for him, but it was a clear-cut community guidelines violation. That was what I mainly wanted to say in the meat of it. And I did want to talk to the brothers associated, even though they're unnamed, the brothers who are associated to this space, whatever's left of this space, who participated in talking to her behind the scenes. And that's where it's just an absolute 100% bridge too far, violation, flag on the play, all of that. And it's some people in and around this space, some people who came up, attached it to the core root of this space, who have ultimately became everything that this space set out to destroy. And they've been on that for a minute. And so there's that. That's my biggest point. That's my biggest takeaway. But no, thank you for everything that you had to say. You did have to say some good stuff. I'm about to go around and get everybody else.
I'm about to head out, brother. Thank you very much.
Oh,
and
peace,
you guys have a great day.
Okay, cool. Do appreciate you coming on. So I'm gonna get everybody last word. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him. Seems like a real sharp brother. Know what he's talking about. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him. But all right, Friedman German, shout out to you. He says, shout out to dudes twerking in our chat room. Yeah, that was absolutely reprehensible. Absolutely reprehensible. But thank you. And thank you, Big Poke Dog. He says, salute, support media for black men. Absolutely 100%. We got I don't even know how to say your name. That's a capital L and two I's. I know I need glasses. He said, once Obsidian showing us he can I already read that one. But no, shout out
I
to
don't
you
think you
though. I
read that
do
one.
appreciate it. No, yeah, I did. Put it back up there. Bring it back. The last super chat that was up there. Once Obsidian shown he can switch up, it wasn't no coming back. Couldn't nobody save him. No, I read that one and I addressed
Okay.
it. Once he said a female should. Okay, yeah, okay. This is somebody who knows the history. Okay, this is that history I was talking about. He said once he said a female should lead the black manosphere, he lost me in a in a few that been here for a while. Yes, there were some things that he said that was just I don't know. Yeah, that was around that time where I was like, all right, I'm done. But anyway, history with EJ Wade. Shout out to you. Says Obsidian did some dirty stuff with my super chat of 50, and to be honest, I checked out of the manosphere. Okay, yeah, we not. I'm not. Thank you for the super chat, but I wouldn't have read that had I known what it was going to say beforehand. Because I don't know what the hell y'all got going on business wise. Did something dirty with your $50 super chat that don't even sound right. I don't know. Sorry, take it up with him. I can't do. Big Kev in the building. Shout out to you. He says frivolous censorship is a slippery slope. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to you. The story to tell says it is the internet. I'm sorry. It is the intent or way the content is framed. There is literally gynecologists on YouTube showing pure penetration. Wow. Yeah, it's some stuff on YouTube, but yeah, it depends on how it's framed. Like you can have game changer the one that pointed out to me that it could be free dangling bouncy breast on YouTube if you happen to be African and in Africa and it's part of the culture, custom, and tradition. And it's some of them chicks that they be looking like some some nice looking chicks you might see on the gram, but they African, so they titties out. It's stuff like that going on. There's all kind of stuff going on. But we're gonna get some last words. Go ahead, GC. What's your final takeaway on this?
Okay, so yeah, people are coming at me like, I'm wrong for, or I'm celebrating. Like I say, I point out the humorous aspects of what happened, and that's it. As far as my relationship with Obsidian prior to this, yeah, I mean, people like One of Us and Violation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all don't pay attention to like the stuff that he was doing that made it clear that he doesn't have the sense of brotherhood that we do. And nor did I see it as a point to I wasn't so petty to point it out in the past years. That dude literally just on Bernard's show said, I'm going to do what's in my financial best interest. I'm going to, if siding with women is going to, make me the most money, then that's what I'm going to do. If siding with, Rainbow is going to make me the most money, then why not? Like this is something that he's openly said, and people forget because he a black man, he one of us. It's like, you got to be careful of who you allow to be and declare as one of you. But once again, I never made that point. When I left, the only reason why I made it a point to announce that I'm leaving is for the reason that super chat said earlier. He said Obsidian somehow did him foul and he left the whole manosphere. So so I made it a point to verbally say, I'm not a part of him. Anything that he does that makes you want to leave an aspect of the manosphere, just leave that aspect. You don't have to leave the whole manosphere because of something he did. Throughout this whole thing, every time Obsidian did something absurd or ridiculous, it was always them nigga, those niggas, they. Even Kimberly Foster would be on some they stuff. They say this, they believe that. And when they say they, it was always something that Obsidian was saying or doing. And Bernard and I was catching arrows for it constantly. So that's why I'm like, listen, don't say they when it comes to him. And now And now that he's gone, I'm hearing this they talk again. I'm hearing this we talk again. It's like, no, there isn't no they or we when it comes to him and I. I made that clear over a year ago, going on 2 years ago. I made that clear. There is no they, there is no we when it comes to him and I. So don't put me in that category. If you want to say that he's one of us, that is on you. And if he does something absurd again, then I'll just say y'all did that. But keep me out of it.
All right. Salty balls again. Thank you for coming on up, gracing us with your presence. You got the last word of the day. Go ahead, you got it.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come up. Quick sidebar: there was a important comment or suggestion by a holding my nuts about where to find those those African what you call it. So you might want to go on ahead and answer that on his behalf.
Game changer the one to put me up on that, so Game Changer could drop the link in the chat if he wants to. But
Yeah, send me an email. I'll send you some links of some, particularly those Zulu girls. Don't sleep on that. I might take a trip to South Africa.
Yeah,
but I would say, for people out in the audience, people out in the world or whatnot, use your own critical thinking. Even facts could be interpreted different ways or whatnot. But we have to really consider whether or not your interpretation of the facts is so divergent that it is skewed beyond recognition into bias. I would say that at the end of the day, from my outlook, when it comes down to it, if there's been a record of more benevolence than there has, things that have been negative, then that's just my assessment. That's just simply my assessment. People are going to have their different views. People are going to have their different opinions, and they're going to have their debates and things like that. And that happens, especially when you're in a space where there's a lot of alphas and sigmas. But ultimately, there shouldn't be any room whatsoever to use people or be around people who are clear and present threat to us and our voices and our self-agency. The other thing I would also like to point out is that you have people out there using obviously the naked word, the dusty word, and things like that, and it's used in a very, very dehumanizing way. I mean, we've seen guys being strung up as strange fruit in people's logos and stuff. So we can't just simply defer to these policies as if there's no bias itself, right? So I think that that's a bad sort of outlook to think about. I would say that maybe when it comes to Black men and their voices, maybe there should be some sort of consideration in a multimedia strategy.
Yeah.
I land my plane there.
All right. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we
got another one.
Huh?
Super chat.
Oh, where might it be? Untitled says the White House talking about doing something about deep fake porn because of the Taylor Swift NFL stuff. Okay. What Oman did was illegal in some states and is about to be federally legal. All right, I take your word on that.
Federally illegal.
I mean, federally illegal. Wait, hold on. In some, what he did, okay, what the old man did was illegal in some states and is about to be federally illegal. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, to me, from what I saw, based off the words that I played that came right out of her mouth, it was a clear-cut mistake. He probably could have got away with the, being annoying and pestering and making a bunch of videos and all of that. He probably could have got away with that. He's gotten away with that before. I think that it was that one thing that did him in. And I titled this provocatively, "The Real Reason Why Obsidian Ali was banned from YouTube." It really should be titled, my really strong opinion based off analyzing the words that came out of For Harriet's mouth as to why Obsidian got banned from YouTube. That's the more honest title, because I can admit I don't know exactly, but I can put a puzzle together quite easy, and it was a real easy puzzle. She basically all but said it. But all right. Shout out to Marriage Politics Sports, says great panel. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said,
welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
And you heard it right there. We've done so much, so little, for so long. We are not qualified to do anything with nothing. Make sure you go and subscribe to Machismo TV, and and Salty Balls Make sure you go and subscribe. And while we're at it, while Salty Balls is here, let me go ahead and acknowledge. Thank you for the $40 cash app. I'll probably put that on the top at the beginning of the next show. And I'll probably count this up for the next one too, but a shout out to Dippo. Man, come on now, it's an African sounding name. I can't help me out with it. It's DIPO for the first name, then it's OWOIYA. What does that OWOIYA? What is that? Somebody knows. I'm counting on you two intelligent brothers to tell me how to say this brother's name. He's in the $10 cash yet. All right, never mind. We're not gonna get your name right. I'm trying to get out of here. Y'all still sending money. Shout out to Maheen Ego. I think I said that one right. He says, if you're mad at dudes for super chatting for Harriet, keep that same energy for Theo wife super chatting Danica. I think super chatting Danica is completely different from super chatting for Harriet.
Yeah, that's a false comparison. She's not a feminist. Yeah.
That's the most false comparison ever. Even though I understand there is a case that can be made about black men in this space, giving more support to the black women who speak the message and the men who speak the message. There's a there, but her and Danica ain't the same.
So guess what, Bernard?
What?
This is how Salty Balls was born.
What? Hold on, I'm missing something.
Well, we need to make sure that, the dollars are, there for men who are actually, speaking the stuff. Why do you think Salty Balls was actually born?
Gotcha. Well said. But anyway, let's get up out of here. I got to go. Yes, American Negro, I can't take no more. But shout out to each and every one of you, and we out of here. Peace. We gone.